I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. An incredible moment just took place during the debate in the race for governor of Oklahoma. The race is between Oklahoma Republican Governor Kevin Stitt and the Oklahoma State Superintendent Joy Hofmeister, who's running as a Democrat and running as a centrist Democrat against all of the MAGA extremism and for a woman's right to choose. I'll tell you more about Joy Hofmeister and her positions in a moment. But during this debate, Joy Hofmeister pointed out something that I think is very important for all Democrats to point out during their debate. You know, one of the talking points that all of these MAGA Republican performative candidates like to tout or like to talk about is that they are strong on crime and they like to portray Democrats and the positions of Democrats as being weak on crime. Meanwhile, if you just look at the data, if you look at the facts, if you look at the statistics, if you take away the propaganda, by far, violent crime rates are substantially higher in states that voted for Trump and states that have Republican leadership than in Democratic states. It is not a debate. Those are actually what the facts are. The facts from the FBI uniform crime reports that come out are demonstrative of this. And here during the debate, finally, we have a Democratic candidate who points it out. Joy Hofmeister points out that Oklahoma has a higher violent crime rate than New York, than California. By the way, it's not even close. It's by far Oklahoma has a much higher violent crime rate. Period. That's just what the stats are. Play this clip from the debate.
So let's talk about the facts. The fact is the rates of violent crime are higher in Oklahoma under your watch than in New York and California. That's a fact.
Well, we'll have that fact checked by the Frontier Superintendent.
It's also a fact that medical marijuana...
Oklahomans, do you believe we have higher crime than New York or California? That's what she just said.
Safety and security is my top priority, and it will be as governor.
Oh, there are so many things I want to point out from that video. Number one, I just like that candidates who do exactly what Joy Hofmeister did right there, which is just to bring the facts. Do you see how Republican Governor Kevin Stitt reacted to the facts? No, not true. Who believes that? Who believes that? The stats are the stats. Enough with the gaslighting, enough of the propaganda. Democrats need to speak with the facts and confront these MAGA Republican candidates who by far are governing completely ineffectively, who are not governing at all, frankly. You got people who can't even run the power grid, can't even keep the lights on, like people like Governor Greg Abbott. You got governors who are out there spending all of their time attacking businesses instead of focusing on issues that people really care about. I mean, look what the issues are in Florida, where you have rent rates that are going up through the roof. You've got an insurance industry, a homeowner's insurance industry that's completely crippled as it gets ravaged each year by hurricanes. And you have a governor who's just focused on battling with Disney because he doesn't like LGBTQ plus friendly films. I mean, that's what Republican governors are bringing us. Just the level of obnoxiousness there by Governor Kevin Stitt as well. You know, the way he demeaned her, the way he looked at her, the way he laughed so arrogantly, that shit-eating grin of his, you know, the way he laughed and was like, do you believe it? Do you believe it? Well, when people get Fox News injecting false information into their veins every single day, and even the media, did you see on that clip, the moderator was like, we'll look it up. I mean, that moderator runs the newspaper in the state. This information is easily accessible information. This is not debatable stuff, and it's stuff that people who live in the state should know. And in fact, it's not just in Oklahoma, the murder rates are on average about 40% higher in the 25 states that Donald Trump won in the last presidential election compared to those that voted for Joe Biden. And additionally, not only that, but the Republican-led states that I just mentioned, like, have exponentially higher violent crime rates and murder rates than these blue states, which the MAGA extremists try to always, frame as being, they're soft on crime and all the crime. The MAGA has the biggest crime problem in those states, and I'll tell you why. It goes back to what you see, for example, in Texas with Greg Abbott, which is that the governors aren't governing. They're not doing their work. They're focused on all this performative BS and not focused on it. I want everyone to also go check out thirdway.org. It's called The Red State Murder Problem, published March 15th of 2022, which does a good job compiling the facts, compiling the data. They've got spreadsheets there that back up everything that I've said already as well. So everybody go and check that out. And I said more on Joy Hofmeister. Let me just give you a little bit of Joy Hofmeister's background. You can see how she's running and how she's succeeding in Oklahoma. So Joy Hofmeister actually changed her party affiliation in Oklahoma in response to MAGA extremism from Republican to Democrat. She describes herself as a moderate who can appeal to Oklahoma Republicans dissatisfied with the party's Trumpist shift to the right, and she takes a, quote, centrist approach to many key policy issues, including abortion rights, taxation, and also just generally teaching the truth in schools and not burning books. In 2022, before the overturning of Roe v. Wade, she said that abortion is a healthcare decision between a woman and her doctor, and it needs to stay that way. She's running against Governor Stitt now. In addition to having an extremely high violent crime rate, facts true, those are what the facts are. Did you see what Governor Stitt did recently in response to the school shootings that have just crippled this country? Rather than supporting very kind of common sense, responsible gun ownership laws, rather than sponsoring responsible gun ownership laws, what does Governor Stitt do? He arranges this cosplay. Here, pull up this video right now, or this photograph. He arranges this cosplay demonstration where he runs around with an AR-15 in a school as the governor, pretending to be Rambo, trying to hunt down the school shooter, and tries to take these ridiculous propaganda Putin-like photographs. That's what they are. They're like the photographs where Putin rides the horseback with his shirt off and takes the jiu-jitsu photos. I mean, here, rather than actually solve the problem of the proliferation of weapons of war at schools, rather than actually confront that problem, how do we strike a balance here? How do we deal with responsible gun ownership? How do we reconcile the fact that there is a Second Amendment, but also reconcile it with the fact that we don't want people with AR-15s, especially irresponsible 18-year-olds who don't have any sufficient background checks, who don't have a credit history, who just give them AR-15s and ammunition so they could run around schools? I mean, literally, who supports that? Governor Stitt is who. Governor Stitt supports that. But rather than confront that issue, what's a real responsible solution? No, it's, everybody, I'm going to go take a fake AR-15 and run around the school and pretend that I'm Rambo getting the school shooter. When we saw what happened in Uvalde, we saw what happened there, what the actual SWAT team did, what the police officers did. They had the weapons. They just stayed in there and didn't do anything at all. But that's the performative nature. And just, I mean, if you watch that, I mean, let's just be clear. Like, I do these analysis where I like to do these very intelligent breakdowns, but also at the end of the day, like when I see Governor Stitt there, like I just see a jerk. Like I just see someone who's demeaning, who's a bully, who doesn't know the facts, and rather than actually argue the facts, he goes, oh, not true, not true. Oh, do you really believe it? Yes. You know why? Because that's actually what the facts are. That's actually what the studies are. You want to go look at the CDC stats. You want to go look at the FBI stats. You want to go look at any objective criteria. Yes, those are the facts. And I think we need to look at the facts. But I guess in MAGA extremist world, what do? Let's go after the scientists. Let's destroy the facts. That's what propagandists do, destroy the facts so that they could live in their own bubbles and lie to their base. But guess what? Recent polls show that Joy Hofmeister is up in this race. Joy Hofmeister is leading this race. She's an incredible candidate. She's a serious candidate. She is an adult in the room. And that's, as you know from watching these videos now, that's my criteria at this point. I want to see adults in the room trying to solve problems. And as I've always said, do I think Democrats get it wrong a lot of the time, or some of them? Democrats get it wrong. They're not a perfect political party. I don't agree with Democrats on every issue, but I'm definitely a Democrat because they're the only people right now, the only political party that take these issues seriously and that they want to confront the problems. And do I have differences? Oh, I wish you would go further on this issue, or maybe you've gone too far on this issue, or I think maybe we could implement the policy over this many years or that many years. But really, on the other side, where you've got MAGA extremists who want to overthrow our democracy, who just lie every day and focus on issues like Mr. Potato Head this, and oh, I'm angry about Dr. Seuss, and oh, the green M&M is wearing high heels, and that makes me really, really angry. How dare the green M&M this, and oh, let's go after Disney World because they want to be friendly to LGBTQ+, and oh, my pronouns are shut the hell up. Okay, that doesn't get us anywhere. That doesn't get us anywhere as a country. That doesn't address the issues. That doesn't solve problems. That's not being serious. And that stuff, just think about wherever you work. Could you imagine a colleague, a coworker, a boss, partner, whoever, talking like that? Could you imagine that? But in politics, we're supposed to accept these cartoonish, evil WWE style, villains who run in a political party, who have these chyrons at their conventions that says we are all domestic terrorists. What the hell is that stuff? It's great to see candidates like Joy Hofmeister leading, coming with facts, coming with receipts, focused on the issues, and you see what happens when you do that. I want all Democrats to be unapologetically pro-democracy, and don't be afraid to hit back the MAGA Republicans on the issue of crime, because MAGA Republicans, you know the stats, by far, the states run by MAGA Republicans have by far a much higher violent crime rate, period. So we need to make sure that's clear. Don't let them take those issues over. They shouldn't. Great job, Joy Hofmeister. Great clip. Till next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button right now if you haven't subscribed by now to the MeidasTouch Network. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. I'm not sure what you're doing if you haven't subscribed. So hit subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Also, if you want to help grow this channel, here's what you can do. Go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Different membership tiers. Most importantly, though, it's a way you can help support and grow our network. patreon.com/MeidasTouch.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.